Okay, as we get started here on the approval of our agenda, one update. Toward the bottom, we have listed our joint comprehensive plan for Walker County and the cities of Chickamauga, Lafayette, Lookout Mountain, Rossville. We're going to need to remove this from the agenda. We were hoping that we would have the information back from the Department of Communities Affairs, that they review all of these plans. But since we put our agendas out a week ahead of time, we were hoping we would have it back by Friday of last week. Unfortunately, that did not happen. So I'd like to make a recommendation to the board that we remove the Joint Comprehensive Plan at this time. Once we get that information back from DCA, we're able to put that out there for the public to be able to review that, because it's almost a 200-page document. So there's a lot of information there. We want the public to have time to review that and the board to review that before we move that forward. So at this time, before we get started, we also need to ask the clerk to call the roll to make sure we have a quorum before we get into our approval.
Commissioner Blakemore?
Present.
Commissioner Askew?
Here.
Chairman Whitfield?
Present.
Commissioner Hart?
Here.
Commissioner Stoltz?
Present.
Thank you. Have all in attendance. So do we have a motion to approve the agenda and by removing the Joint Comprehensive Plan from the agenda as well?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hart to approve the agenda minus removing the Joint Comprehensive Plan. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Blakemore. Any further discussion of the board? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the agenda is approved with the removal of that one item. Okay, at this time you have in your packet, and we do have packets out at the table, and this is also on our website, but we do have the minutes from our regular scheduled meeting back on February the 10th, 2022. So do we have any corrections or issues with those minutes from our February 10th meeting? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the minutes from the prior meeting?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Commissioner Askew. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Stoltz. Any further discussion of the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as presented by the board clerk. Okay, at this time, we do have an advertised public hearing on our ordinance O-02-22 to amend certain sections of Chapter 20 of the Code of Walker County, Georgia, to adopt the 2021 edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, and for other provisions. So I'm going to read this. It's a couple of pages long here, so please bear with me. Ordinance O-02-22. An amendment to Article 4, Chapter 20 of the Code of Walker County, Georgia, to adopt and make certain revisions to the International Property Maintenance Code 2021 edition, to repeal the International Property Maintenance Code 2012 edition, to provide an effective date to repeal any and all conflicting ordinances and parts of the ordinance, to provide severability and for other purpose. Whereas pursuant to Code Section 20-80, Walker County has adopted the International Property Maintenance Code 2012 edition with certain amendments that are set forth in Code Section 20-84. And whereas the 2021 edition of the International Property Maintenance Code has been published, and whereas it is the best interest of the county to adopt the International Property Maintenance Code 2021 edition with certain revisions set forth here within, and whereas the International Property Maintenance Code 2021 edition shall replace the International Property Maintenance Code 2012 edition. Therefore be it resolved that the Article 4 of Chapter 20 of the County Code is amended as follows. Section 20-80 is amended by deleting the term International Property Maintenance Code 2012 edition and replacing same with International Property Maintenance Code 2021 edition, excluding Appendix B, but otherwise including all future additions, supplements, and amendments, including local amendments adopted by the county. 2, Section 20-81 is amended by deleting the term International Property Maintenance Code 2012 edition and replacing the same with International Property Maintenance Code 2021 edition, excluding Appendix B, but otherwise including any future additions, supplements, and amendments, including local amendments adopted by the county. 3, Section 107 of the International Property Maintenance Code 2021 edition is deleted in its entirety. Section 108 of the International Property Maintenance Code 2021 edition is deleted in its entirety. Section 109.2 of the International Property Maintenance Code 2021 edition is deleted in its entirety and replaced with the following. 109.2, issuance of citation. A code official is authorized to issue a citation for any violation of the provisions of the International Property Maintenance Code. All citations shall be issued to the Walker County Magistrate Court. 6, Section 109.3 of the International Property Maintenance Code 2001 edition is deleted in its entirety and replaced with the following. 109.3, determination of citation. A magistrate court judge shall conduct a trial and determine whether the violation set forth in the citation occurred. The judge shall enter an order, and if a violation occurred, set forth the dollar amount of any fine and any other appropriate legal action. 7, this ordinance shall become effective upon adoption. All ordinances or part of the ordinance in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. If any section, clause, sentence, or phrase of this ordinance is held to be invalid or unconstitutional by a court of jurisdiction, then said holding shall in no way affect the validity of the remaining portion of this ordinance. So tonight is just our first public hearing. We will also have this on our agenda in 2 weeks for a second public hearing. And at that time, the board will have as an action item on the agenda as well. So is there anyone here tonight that wanted to come up to the podium and speak publicly about this pending ordinance change with our International Property Maintenance Code? Yes, sir. Please come up if you would. If you'd state your name for our record, please.
Thanks, Shannon. Alex Boyle, Chickamauga. My question is, in simple form, could you tell us what, if any, significant changes other than updates of year and title and things like that?
Okay. I'd like to defer to our family attorney if you could give us an explanation of this.
Like you said, just any corrections. The International Property Maintenance Code is a code that is established, that's used not only.
And we've been using
Right.
the grandfather of this theoretically
Right.
for some time.
And the primary change that affects us is there is a provision in the 2021 code that would say that if a citation is issued, it goes before a 3-person board of appeal. And our amendment would, instead of a 3-person board of appeal, the citation would automatically go to the magistrate court of Walker County, and the magistrate court judge would make the decision instead of a 3-person board of appeal.
And that is would you say that is the fundamental change that is
Yes,
taking
sir.
And may I ask, what is the genesis of injecting that new procedure into the equation?
Sure. It's just procedurally getting volunteers who are knowledgeable and willing to serve on a 3-person board of appeal. We already have a magistrate court established and a magistrate court judge who's familiar with the code provisions. So we believe that this will streamline the process.
And I guess my final question is this consistent with other county governments that are reasonable size and dynamics?
Yes, I know for sure in Chattooga County that they do that. I have not done a survey of all the counties, but my understanding is that this is consistent with surrounding areas.
Okay. And if I may ask, Chairman Whitfield, So we have a standing board as it stands right now, yes or no?
We have one, but it's been somewhat inactive. But there is one, and part of this will dissolve that and take that out. We take all of our animal control citations to magistrate court, and so that process has been very well received, because that way you have an official judge office, and it's just takes us to another professional level, I feel, as a local government. And that way you've got a non-biased judge, and then that way we've got more than one magistrate judge, so if there's a reason they need to recuse themselves or something, that process is already there in their framework of operation, versus a citizen-based panel that may, like Commissioner Askew said, may not be totally up to speed on everything in the code, the property maintenance. So it's just, I think it's going to get us to a higher level of professionalism of enforcing our codes.
Okay, all right. Thank you, and I may make some further comments the next meeting.
Okay,
Thank
sure.
you.
Thank you for coming. All right, very good. Anyone else like to speak on this? Board members have any additional thing to add at this time?
I just was gonna add, Mr. Boyle, it is common practice. I've been personally, certified in the international property maintenance ordinance for probably 10 or 12 years, and attend quite a bit of recertifications and meetings with other people throughout the state. And with that property maintenance ordinance, it is a code which is adopted, and so violations have already gone through due process. Usually you're warned, you're given, so much time to correct. So by the time that the citations are issued and it has to be a corrective action taken, the magistrate is the proper place for it to be in the court of the magistrate's court, versus opinions of a board that people may or may not, like I said, be trained in or understand the ordinance itself. So we feel like it'll get us better service for the citizens.
And our goal is not to drag people into court or try to, cite them with fines and fees. It's more of that last resort, to try to give someone an opportunity to get in compliance, give them time.
Abate the violation. In other words, whatever the violation may be, get it abated, get it taken care of, and it won't be a problem. But if they choose not to, then it's a little better, swifter, it's, fair and swift justice, and then you go to the court and you get your ruling and you go from there. So, any other questions, or if you'd like to talk about it any other time, if you reviewed the ordinance, international property maintenance.
I'm familiar with the previous.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good questions. Anyone else tonight? Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and close out our public session on this public hearing, but again, we will have this on our agenda next time, so if anyone else would like to come and speak or get with us in the interim, we'd welcome you to do that as well. Okay, now we're going to enter into our new business. This is a intergovernmental agreement for use and distribution of the proceeds generated by the 2022 Transportation Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, or as we refer to as our TSPLOST. This being an intergovernmental agreement, is my understanding our other cities have already had their meetings and approved this, my understanding? Yes. So this has been agreed upon. The main thing here is the distribution percentage of proceeds of the TSPLOST funding. So I'm not going to read all this. This is a quite lengthy document. But we have the TSPLOST currently in place now, so this is just a renewal and extension of the TSPLOST to utilize to pave our roads with. So the distribution percentage for the city of Chickamauga is 4.46%. City of Fort Oglethorpe does have a small section of the city, some residential area that is in Walker County. So 0.4%, or 40 basis points, actually 40 basis points would go to the city of Fort Oglethorpe, city of Lafayette 11.5%, city of Lookout Mountain 2.5%, city of Rossville 6.14%, and Walker County, having the largest population and the largest number of road miles, would continue to get 75%, which is what's in place today under the current TSPLOST. The TSPLOST that we're operating under now is going to mature due to collecting. We're projecting that in August of this year, we're going to hit that threshold of the collection that was set out in the previous one of $25 million. And so the protocol is that if you hit that target early, which we will be hitting that probably around 5 to 6, 7 months early, then you take it back to the voters as a referendum, put it back on the ballot for the citizens to vote on. So what this couple of documents here that we have on this resolution is the intergovernmental agreement with the counties, but also we have the documentation here to put it on the ballot. And also in Exhibit A, it does show how the proceeds would to be used. Most of these, or they may all be identical. They're, let's see, I think there might have been, let's see. Yeah, so, for Walker County, improving, repairing, resurfacing, the roads, sidewalks, pedestrian crossings. The funding could be used for walking trails, bicycle paths, bridges, bridge projects and improvements, and other culvert replacement and transportation-related repairs. We're having to look in kind of the crystal ball, thinking long-term over the next 5 years, what's the potential collection? Now that we are receiving sales tax collections for online sales, that started about a year ago. So everyone's sales tax collection is up across the state. So we're kind of looking into the crystal ball and projecting that we would anticipate maybe as much as $45 million over the next 5 years. So you see the allocation there with the percentages of the estimates. And again, it's just estimates. We have no way of knowing over the next 5 years, but that's just kind of the bogey that we're looking at there over that period of time. And then this also has the documentation in it also for the notice of the special purpose notice of the special sales and use tax election, on November the 24th, 2022. So this is during the scheduled primary election that is already scheduled to come up. And so this is also the documentation that you'll see that would be passed over to the Board of Elections, and for the chairman of the Board of Elections, Jim Buckner, to sign off on this to make sure this properly gets placed on the ballot. So at this time, do we have any board members that have any questions or additional comments about the TSPLOST? Okay.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Blakemore. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Stoltz. Any further discussion of the board on the TSPLOST? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Okay, then the next item that we have here on our agenda is the Lookout Mountain Judicial Circuit Drug Task Force Intergovernmental Contract. This is an agreement that is signed every year by our Lookout Mountain Judicial Circuit. This includes Chattooga County Sheriff's Department, Chattooga County Government, the City of Trine, Dade County Sheriff's Office, Dade County Government, the Lookout Mountain Judicial Circuit District Attorney, the Walker County Sheriff, and the Walker County Government. To the best of my knowledge, the only change of this document is that the City of Lafayette is no longer part of the Drug Task Force this next year. They've elected not to continue at this time, and so that is the one change that I'm aware of. I don't know if there's anything else the attorney's aware of.
No, sir.
Okay. But this is something that we do every year to continue our drug task force operation. This comes as a request / recommendation from our sheriff, Steve Wilson. He has already signed this document as approval, but this being an intergovernmental agreement, it does need passage by this board to be official. And from my understanding, all other jurisdictions that are listed here have either approved this or in the process of approving this agreement. Any further discussion, comment, or question?
I'd just like to state that I do feel like that the DTF does us a very good job in our tri-community area. There's a lot of illegal activity. I know they put a lot of time and effort into trying to stop the spread of illegal drugs and such in the county, and I'd like to see us continue to support them.
Absolutely, good points.
I would also like to comment, similar comments Commissioner Askew. DTF does a phenomenal job. They work very hard to quell the spread and use of illicit substances, and I'm just very proud that we have this association in our county. So I'm very supportive of DTF.
All right, good points. Any further discussion? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve this interjurisdictional agreement?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Commissioner Blakemore. Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a second by Commissioner Askew. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it is approved.
Chairman Whitfield, before we proceed any further, I believe on the agenda, we inadvertently passed over resolution R-012-22. And I think that when you were handing the paperwork for the IGA, you may have inadvertently slid that with it. So if you could present that, please.
Okay, yeah, I did miss it. Okay, my mistake. So yes, so the resolution here, R-12-22, is the resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Walker County to impose and levy the collection of transportation, special purpose, local option sales tax within Walker County, conditioned upon the approval by the majority of the qualified voting residents within Walker County in a referendum to be held on May 24, 2022. And so this document is the actual document that does pass this over to the election superintendent that does support and back the intergovernmental agreement. So I'm sorry I had missed that as a separate action item. So do we have a motion to approve resolution R-12-22 to impose and levy the collection of the transportation special local option sales tax in Walker County?
Motion to approve.
Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner Hart. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Stoltz. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Thank you. All right, thank you for that. Okay, at this time we do allot 5 minutes of time for any citizen that would like to come forward and address the board at this time. We do like you to, if you could, keep your comments related to local government here. We can't fix what's happening in other parts of the world as bad as we'd like to sometimes, but so we like you to try to focus on things that we can have an impact on. So is there anyone here tonight that would like to come speak? Yes, sir. If you would come up, please. And when you come to the podium, if you would state your name for the record.
I'm Alfred Holland from Chickamauga. Got a water problem. At the east end of, what I say it was, Myers Road.
Yeah.
There's a water problem there, and the water starts all the way up toward Hurt Road, and it comes down. And it's been doing this for years. Roy Parrish was going to fix this, but he never did get around to it. But anyway, it comes down to Lavina Road, and it's got a 48-inch tile there. Well, when it comes down to Myers Road, it's got just 2 or 3 little small tiles. And that water builds up, and it's done flooded down there. Me and my son's got 3 or 4 little houses down there, and they get flooded out. Especially one there, the people had to leave this month twice, and then come back when the water went down. This has been going on for many years. But it comes down, and I was thinking if it goes in 4 foot and comes out 2 or 3 feet, of course you got in the ditch there, you got 3 or 4 small tiles. I talked to Mr. Byers about it here about a year ago, I guess, and them tiles are small and they're easy to get stopped up because we've got around 5 or 6 acres there, and the water picks up brush and stuff, and it stops them little tiles up. But if there was a large 48-inch there, Mr. Byers talked about it. He said might have a problem with this or something. If it was a culvert there, it'd be fine. But I don't know whether anybody wants to go that way or not. But that's really what it needs because there's a lot of water. I'm not talking about just a little water. This morning I went down there and the yard was flooded out in that one place there. And like I said, they had to leave twice this month. And I don't know how many floods we've had, but this has been going on forever. And but anyway, Mr. Byers, he knows all about it, but he said he was going to try to do something. I'm sure he tried, whatever, but that needs to be fixed because, we pay taxes on that 4 or 5 houses in there and in a garage, and you just can't live like that. But we really would appreciate it if the brother would come over and look, show it to him.
I'll be glad to. I know exactly the location you're talking about.
But I'd
More than happy to.
really appreciate it if you could do something about that, Mr. Shannon.
Yeah, we just, in the last 2 weeks, did some tile work off of Hurt Road down in Haley's Cove and replaced some tiles that we had some problems with. So we've been working some over in that area, but we'll take a look at this as well.
It's got to be done because those people shouldn't have to leave ever.
Right.
We got it rented, but they have to leave, like I said, twice already this month.
Okay.
And but Roy Pierce never did get around to do it, so maybe you guys can do it.
Well, we appreciate you coming in and sharing with us tonight.
Thank you for making us aware of it.
I
We'll
appreciate
get on
it.
top of it.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else tonight? Yes, sir. Please state your name, sir.
Randy Pittman. Just want to make y'all aware that the Walker County Historic Preservation Commission will be on Beverly's Historic Moments tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. on UCTV. So get a chance, tune in, kind of see what we've been into, and appreciate pointing me to the commission. I'm learning a lot from Ms. Foster and Chairman Culpepper, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Very good. Yeah, they're both super knowledgeable on history in Walker County. All right, anyone else tonight? Okay, very good. We will have the need for an executive session tonight, but before we do that, we'll ask if our commissioners have any additional public comments they'd like to make, and we'll start with Commissioner Blakemore.
Just appreciate the ones that come out. The more involvement we get, the better we can do our job. And as always, if I can help you, call, text, or email. Thank you.
Commissioner Askey.
Thank you for your participation, Mr. Holland. Appreciate your patience on that. We've had, been inundated with rain here the last couple of days, and we've had several complaints from citizens. We just ask to be patient with us, please, that we're working on them, and we'll try to get the guys out. The Public Works, our road department does a phenomenal job. And so we appreciate y'all bringing things to our attention and help us do our job better. Thank you.
Commissioner Hart.
Yeah, I would like to recognize a family in the county that was awarded last night the 2022 Farm Family of the Year. That was a Cross family up in Chickamauga, who I guess they were in District 4.
Yes, sir.
But they live right local Chickamauga. Everybody knows them there. Benny, Cross, Tommy, and Gary. They're recognized for their farm operation there by Walker County Young Farmers, and just wanted to give a shout out to them. They do a lot for the community also up in that area. And then our basketball team's playing tonight in Lafayette, first round state championship. I don't know the score, but
They did win.
they did win. Thank you for
Right.
that. Okay.
Never mind.
So we're proud of them. So Thank you very much, Robert.
Absolutely. Very proud, alumni of Lafayette High. We're very proud of that. So I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. Certainly appreciate the participation. If I can be of any assistance, please contact me, text, call, email. I want to thank all our hardworking county employees. Thank you for the job that y'all do. Thank you very much. Randy Pittman, thank you for serving on that historical board. Much appreciated. And hope everyone has a great night.
And I would like to add, Mr. Hart, you just to piggyback off of you on that, my Lady Trojans are at the state volleyball championship as we speak. So I'm not sure how they did today, but go Trojans.
Very good. We've got some real talent here in Walker County. We're very proud of our young folks, and they represent us well throughout the community. At this time, we will need to go into executive session to discuss some personnel matters. So I make the motion that we go into executive session. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Askew. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we will stand adjourned. We'll be back after our executive session.
Download Walker County's Siren GPS app today for Apple and Android devices and be the first to know about bad weather and other community concerns and interests.
All right, it is still February 23rd, 2022. It is 9:01 p.m. We just come out of our executive session talking about some personnel issues. There's no further action of the board tonight, so we will move for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Commissioner Stoltz, and we have a second by Commissioner Hart. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we stand adjourned. Thank you.